Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. I want to talk about how good it feels when you focus on leaving everyone else with the impression of increase. That's the number one key to success. I'm going to read from the Thinking into Results Participants Guidebook that was written by Sandy Gallagher, and Sandy Gallagher was Bob Proctor's partner. They worked together to really bring awareness to people that we really can do, have whatever we want. And I'm proud to say that I deliver the Thinking into Results program. So I'm going to talk about lesson 11, which is one of the keys not only to getting what you want, but to keeping you happy and to bringing into your world whatever you desire to be, do, or have. The movie and the book, The Secret. The Secret was written by Rhonda Byrne. That turned into a worldwide phenomenon. Now, maybe you're not old enough to remember the movie, The Secret, but lots of people have read the book. Some people have used it and changed their lives, but I'm going to let you know that Bob Proctor was my coach and mentor, and he was in the movie The Secret. And he says, we felt very fortunate that our company was featured in it. The Secret created an awareness the film brought to the surface of the conscious mind for several 100 million people the fact that every aspect of our life is truly affected and governed by the natural laws of the universe. In fact, all of life is governed by the law. It's your life is actually recorded and played back. So the things that you learned as a child are programmed into your subconscious mind, and they keep replaying, resurfacing, coming up over and over again. So that's why sometimes when you really want something, it doesn't show up because you're so desperate to have what you want, but your subconscious mind is saying, that's not for you. No, you can't. Who do you think you are? So the, the really important thing is to study daily. What do you want? How do you want to feel? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Who are you now that you have your ideal life, the goal accomplished, the wish fulfilled? What would you be doing? How would you be acting if life was going the way you want it to go? Sandy Gallagher writes that Dr. Wernher von Braun, who is considered by many as the father of the space program, was quoted in the movie The Secret saying that the natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't have any difficulty building spaceships that will travel to the moon, and we can time the landing with the precision of the fraction of a second. When the President of the United States, John Kennedy, asked Dr. von Braun what it would take to build a spaceship that would carry a man to the moon and bring him back safely to Earth, the good doctor's answer was simple and swift. It was merely 5 words: the will to do it. The will to do it. Do you know you have a will? I'm not talking about willpower. You have been gifted with the ability to focus your will, to take a picture of what you truly desire and to focus exclusively on that. Bob Proctor would say, light a candle and sit there and stare at the flame until you and the candle become one. You are so focused on the candle flame that you feel that you're just all one. You're part of it. That's how deeply you want to train your ability to focus, your will, so that your brain, the reticular activating part of your brain, goes looking for evidence to support what you're focused on. And we allow ourselves to be scattered, to drift, to look at everything that's going wrong and to say, it's not what I want isn't here yet. Look at all this that's going on. Look at the conditions, look at the economy, look at my world, look at my life. Everything's going wrong. Focus your attention on what you desire. If you want peace and calm, you must train your mind to get into that state of being. Train your body. Take a deep breath in and relax and settle in and ask, what do I really want? If it's calm, peace, love, purpose, you must focus on that. It doesn't come when you're stressed and running around and worried. It comes from being calm and peaceful. Sandy Gallagher said that is precisely what it will take for you to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. The will to do it. Dr. von Braun's answer was confident and direct because he understood the laws of the universe. He also understood that by working in harmony with the laws, you can accomplish anything you can imagine. So when I teach this particular lesson, it's not to cover all the laws of the universe, but to focus on one law. The law of cause and effect. What you put out returns to you. The state of being that you're in magnifies, and it's like it magnetically draws to you whatever you're in harmony with. This lesson of leaving everyone with the impression of increase is founded on the premise that givers gain. It is based upon the law that Emerson said was the law of laws, the law of cause and effect. To fully appreciate the wisdom of leaving everyone with the impression of increase, it's best that you give some thought to the common denominator amongst people. This is a natural law. It's a fundamental law. We are all spiritual beings. You are a spiritual being. I am a spiritual being. The love of your life is a spiritual being. Your worst enemy is a spiritual being. The person sitting next to you on the bus or at work or in a concert is a spiritual being. We are all spiritual beings. You then have to consider the basic truth that spirit is always for expansion and fuller expression. It is never for disintegration. Any problem we have that causes us to go backwards is a result of our individual or collective ways of thinking. There is infinite supply. You don't have to fight or figure it out. Just tap into the energy of what do you want and get out of your way and allow it to come. You don't have to take it from another person. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to worry about if it's coming or when it's coming. Your only job is to get into alignment with what it is you desire. What does your beautiful goal look like? Your Father who is in heaven wants what you want for you. Whatever you desire, whatever is a burning desire in your heart, the picture in your mind, you wouldn't have it unless you were meant to have it. It's yours for the taking. All you have to do is get into alignment. Your mind, your heart, your body. Are you doing what you would be doing if you were already that? Increase is what everyone wants. All men, all women are seeking increase. It is the urge of our spiritual essence within to find fuller expression. Wallace Waddell says, the desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. People are always seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, more life. Every living thing is under the necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase of life ceases, disillusion and death set in at once. People instinctively know this, and hence they are forever seeking more. What Wallace Waddles is talking about is evident. Look around you. Consider sports. If people are running, they want to run higher, and if they want to run faster, and if they're jumping, they want to jump higher. In sales, people want to sell more. Companies are forever trying to improve the bottom line of their financial statements. They're not interested in holding the line. They want to improve it. That is, without question, the natural urge of life seeking expression. When you are honestly attempting to leave everyone with the impression of increase, and we must emphasize everyone, you are putting yourself in harmony with the higher side of the other person's personality. People will quickly recognize that by associating with you, they will enjoy increase for themselves. If you always take an honest pride in doing this and let everyone know that you are a giving person, you will have an abundant life. But you can't just think about it, you have to act upon it. As you let people know that you are a giving person through your actions, you let your way of life telegraph that beautiful truth to everyone you come in contact with, because that peace, that love, that desire for everyone to have more is radiating from you. Some people can see auras, and they could see a light around this person, you, me, the person who is in harmony with the laws of the universe, being that light being, holding love and peace for all in your heart so that it actually radiates from you. That divine source of energy that is always available. You can tap into it, bring it into your life, feel it, live it, and you will attract to you all the people, all the resources, all the conditions and circumstances to live the way you want to live. And people will naturally gravitate to you because they can feel your beautiful energy. Now, Sandy Gallagher says a critical aspect of giving is that it must be spontaneous. If you have to think about whether you should give it or not, you're very likely trading, which is what most people do, and they mistakenly call it giving. Giving should be a habit. It should be a free-flowing action, a part of your habitual nature. We should willingly give and graciously receive. Now, when giving, leaving everyone you come in contact with the impression of increase, feeling better for having been in your presence, for having met you, for having known you. When giving becomes part of your paradigm, that's the habitual way you do anything, the universe will constantly, without interruption, be sending good in your direction. Think about that for a moment. We've already stated that Emerson suggested that cause and effect was the law of laws. This law has been stated in many different ways. Action and reaction are equal and opposite. Energy always returns to its source of origination. What you put out comes back. So a thinking person who understands the law would naturally, that's nature's way, just want to send good energy into the universe. Do you want to be happy? Act as if you are already happy now. You want love? You have to put love out into the universe. If energy always returns to its source of origination, would we consciously and deliberately send out bad energy? Of course not. However, if your paradigm is in control, the expression of negative energy can be automatically triggered by conditions, the circumstances, or another person from your outside world. You can end up automatically reacting to situations in a negative way. If you were in conscious control, if you are aware of what's going on, you would never do that. People don't deliberately walk in front of moving vehicles. Sometimes, from time to time, people do walk in front of a moving vehicle. It's infrequent if and when it happens, but nowhere as often as people sending negative energy out into the universe. You can't hide. You can't think, oh, I hate that guy. I want him out of my life. I wish the worst to him. What you put out comes back to you like a boomerang. What you think and feel is like a curse you're putting on yourself or a blessing. The universe is totally deductive. That means it does not differentiate between good and bad. It only receives and reacts. The law of cause and effect says action and reaction are equal and opposite. The universe just sends like energy back to us. This is why it becomes vitally important for us to continually be working at altering the old paradigm, the old way of sending out bad energy, thinking negative thoughts and hoping for good, feeling anger and resentment and jealousy and anxiety and hoping for good to come back to us. What we send out comes back to us. What are you sending out? What are you thinking about? What are you dwelling on? Is it that beautiful goal that you want to bring in? Or is it trying to push against what you don't want? You can never get rid of something by pushing against it. We must continually be working at altering the old paradigm, improving the program, improving our lives, consciously becoming more aware of what we're saying, what we're doing, how we're acting, and asking, is this going to help me get to my goal? Is this going to change my life? Is this going to represent peace and love and joy and purpose? If not, don't say what you're about to say. It takes practice. And we can't say, well, what about the other person? Each person is the center of their own universe. Each person is sending out energy that's returning to them. You don't need to worry about anybody else. What you send out through your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions is guaranteed to return to you. What everyone else is thinking, saying, and doing, guaranteed they're going to get theirs, good and bad. So when you form the habit of leaving everyone with the impression of increase, sending good energy to everyone you meet, whether you know them or not, and regardless of what their behavior may be toward you, you're going to be abundantly rewarded. It may be difficult to see how you're going to benefit from helping a person you don't know and you may never run into them again. Nevertheless, know it will come back to you. When you turn this type of behavior into a habit and it becomes part of your paradigm, part of your way of life, part of your automatic habitual behavior, every aspect of your life is going to improve. Sandy Gallagher and Bob Proctor teach that clearly understand that the person you give the good to, the company or the situation that you give the good to, may never be able to help you. Your good may not come back from them. If that's what you're expecting, you're deluding yourself. You're trading. Just realize they are an expression of a universal power, and it is the universe that's going to reward you. It's universal laws that you are working with. Bob Proctor says most people receive their good through the keyhole. Open the doors and the windows and expect it to come in from all places. Another very important point that you must clearly understand is that your paycheck does not come from your company. It merely comes through your company. And if it gets to a point where it will not come from there, it will come from someone else. Riches in the context of this program refers to giving and receiving of abundance in all areas of your life. Start looking for what other people do well. Bring it to their attention. Let them know you notice it. Leave the impression of increase with every person you come in contact with. Energy always returns to its source of origination. Give and you shall receive. If you can incorporate this into your thinking, into your everyday way of life with every person you come in contact with, you're going to have a richer life. When you leave someone with the impression of increase, that positive energy must first flow to and through you. When you see the best in other people, see the best in your company, see the best in other circumstances and situations, you're going to be in a phenomenal vibration. You're going to feel good all the time. The compensation for developing the impression of increase in your character is phenomenal. It goes beyond the scope of your imagination. You don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things in a certain way. And that certain way is by law. Write this down, love, capital Love, and think of this as the law of vibrational energy, the law of the perpetual the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. What you put out comes back to you. That is the law of cause and effect. You're thinking thoughts you think are invisible, you think nobody can see your thinking, but the universe knows everything. And your thoughts attract to you what you're thinking. If you're thinking mean, nasty thoughts, that's going to come back to you. If you're thinking love and prosperity and richly blessed abundance, peace for everyone, you will be richly rewarded with peace, love, joy, purpose. It comes from the universal energy, not from the person that you're fighting against. Do everything through the law of vibrational energy, LOVE, by law. To live the rich and abundant life, you must bring your mind into harmony with the laws that govern your being. Your work, how you spend your days, whether you are a professional or a laborer, must be seen as a service you are rendering and must be done in a certain way. That's why your mind must be brought into harmony with the laws of the universe. The law says, what you put out is what comes back. Give your best. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. You want to make certain that you are one of the most effective human beings you could ever be. Do things in a certain way. What you think controls your emotions, your action, and your vibration controls your action. Your action controls the reaction of the universe that you are part of. It is when the action and reaction meet that your results are manifested. It's you and the universe working together. When you are in harmony with the universe, your results will be positive. When you are not, the results will be less than you desire. What you think controls your emotions, and your emotions control the vibration that your body is in. I want you to think about creating a wonderful day. Get into harmony with what you want. Send beautiful energy out into the universe, and guaranteed that's what will come back to you. Thank you for joining me in this morning mindfulness practice. Sending you love and light. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7. Thank you. For my clients, I'll see you back here at 9 o'clock so we can go deeper into leaving everyone with the impression of increase.